Welcome back to It's Your Law. I'm George Curtis. We've got Sheriff Mike Brooks, who told us at the beginning of this show that he's not running for re-election. I'm sure he's not quitting working. It'll be interesting to talk to him sometime as to some of the choices he has, and I know he has them. At one time he considered law school and other things, and he's done other things. His wife, Cheryl, used to be employed by our law firm, as a matter of fact. I'm sure that the future is going to be interesting and exciting. But for the moment, you've got to still serve for what, the rest of the year?
Yes, I do. My term ends on January 2nd of 2011, and the new sheriff takes over on Monday, January 3rd.
Well, I'm sorry to see you leave, but nevertheless, I kind of believe in limited terms too. In the public sector, we can all get comfortable, and when we get too comfortable, we don't have the same edge and concern that we had at the beginning.
Well, and it's interesting you say that, because I tell people, change is good, and they think I'm just referring to myself. And the reality of it is, it'll be good for the sheriff's office too. It always brings in different ideas and different approaches, and so change will be good for the sheriff's office, and change will be good for me. And along those same lines, limiting terms does prevent you from getting too comfortable, and makes you. I think it makes you try and make the people happy and do what the people want. But there is a benefit to, in my position, being more administrative, to having longer terms, because it is tough to replace that experience.
Well, and as an administrator, I'm sure one of your biggest headaches is the county's hotel.
Yes.
I have talked to you and listened to you about this for a number of years.
Yeah.
At one time, there was a plan under consideration to have a kind of an area jail with Calumet County, Outagamie County, and Winnebago County. We have a situation in Wisconsin where you've heard it before. We've got about the same population as Minnesota, but we've got twice as many people locked up. And it's expensive. It's terribly expensive to have them locked up. I realize that's not a decision you make. It goes right back to the legislature and how the sentencing laws are done. But we're facing a lot of current expense and a jail that we're going to outgrow, and it seems to me we just built it.
Well, that's correct. The first study that was done was in 1999, and it projected what the population would be, which has been pretty accurate throughout the course of the years. But we didn't open the jail till 2003. So while it seems like we just opened the jail, the reality is the 10-year projection occurred last year, and we're pretty close to being on with that. And you're right. I mean, I realize the legislature has a tremendous impact. And once again, I'll mention Judge Wolt. We have people in our community, Judge Wolt, Judge Key, and the other judges, but they have been the leaders in this area of alternatives for incarceration, the drug court, the STOP program for OWI, the day reporting. Those are all things that are alternatives to incarceration that are, instead of warehousing people in my jail, those are programs that overall are looking at reducing recidivism. That's how we get a handle on reducing the need for hard beds. And I'd like to point out that Judge Wolt and members of the Sheriff's Office went over to Dakota County, Minnesota, and I'm glad you mentioned Minnesota as an example, and we are modeling a lot of what we're doing after the programs in Dakota County. By the way, Dakota County is more than twice the size of Winnebago County and only has about 2/3 of the inmates locked up in their jail in comparison to Winnebago County. Now, we're trending more to the same type of numbers that Dakota County has because of the programs that have been put in place over the last 3-4 years.
Well, the taxpayers are paying for this hotel.
That's
and
correct.
The hotels in all the other counties.
Right.
And taxpayers certainly have big burdens, and I would think most of them would rather be paying for schools.
I agree with you. I think anybody would rather see money go to parks, to schools, definitely schools with the crunch now, than into a jail. And obviously it's incumbent upon any sheriff to make sure that he finds ways to reduce the costs that he has associated. I've outsourced a lot of things in my jail to reduce the costs. The meals, for example, we're paying with 300 and averaging 321 inmates, we're paying about the same total cost for food as what we did in 1999, when, or excuse me, in year 2000, when we were still in the jail downtown with 1/3 of the number of inmates. But to me, the real reason, it's not just the cost, the real reason to attack recidivism is the quality of life issue in the county. If we can attack recidivism, that's one less victim of a crime. That's one less person that will be negatively impacted. So you're not only reducing the cost, but you're increasing the quality of life in the community. And in order to do that, we need to be very aggressive in finding alternatives to incarceration that work and putting them in place. And because there is not, you know, the cost of, for example, it's $68 a day before any revenues, $68 a day for 1 day in my jail. The cost of day reporting is about $21 a day. So if we can attack that recidivism, if we can get double-digit increases in offenders who do not reoffend, do not commit another crime, we will have a tremendous impact not only on the economy, but also on the quality of life in our community.
Now, some of those people do have a chance to keep going to their jobs. We refer to it as the Huber law,
Right.
But that's not really available to everybody, is it?
No, it's not. First of all, you have to be sentenced. So if you're awaiting trial, obviously it's not eligible. And then you have to be sentenced with that privilege. While our judges are very, I think they do a great job of saying, we want to make sure that even though this person's spending time in jail, that he's out there working so he can help pay for the cost of his time in jail and not disadvantage his family, you know, by them not having an income. So we do see a lot of the sentenced prisoners on Huber. The problem right now is finding them a job. The jobs that we typically have been able to get for our Hubers in the past are now being filled with graduates from the university that can't find jobs elsewhere. So we are, it's very interesting that we be talking about this because Lieutenant Sanciola, who handles my Huber program, is working on some new plans to try and find ways to get them out, get them working, and once again, we believe somebody who's out working, who has given the programs to get at the root cause of their problems, may do a better job of not reoffending, reducing that recidivism, and we think that in the long haul is going to be the best thing for the community.
We're out of time. Thank you and congratulations on a great career in law enforcement. You've got 10 seconds left. What would you tell the young people about law enforcement as a career?
Oh, I tell you, this is something to look into. It is, first of all, it offers you opportunities that you will not get in other jobs. Each day is going to be different.
Congratulations and thanks, Sheriff. Good luck to you.
Thank you.